You talked about you were trying to clean up your image. You were trying to be a kinder, gentler Honky Tonk Man.
Yes, yes.
Before this transition and maybe seeing the light, you were kind of a lightning rod of controversy with maybe your comments of things you've said about people. Now, do you think that's gotten you a negative backlash from the WWE as it stands, or fans in general, when they look at you? Because, you know, fans glom on the controversy. They love the if you're going to badmouth somebody. That's what gets like hits and clicks.
Yes. But then here's what the fans do. And I've learned this over a period of time by doing several of the videos with RF, is the fans love it. They love the truthfulness. They love how you are so open and honest and call this guy a cocksucker and this one was an asshole and all these other adjectives that I've used to, you know, demonize some of these other wrestlers or some of the other people in the profession. But yet then what they will do is turn around and say, oh, he's just a bitter old guy.
Right.
He's a complete asshole, and this shows you that he's bitter and he hates everyone, and that's the reason of all these other things. So there is whatever positive you might get out of it, in some ways, it becomes a negative towards you in other ways. And the WWE question, I know that I've heard, I don't know if it's true, I heard it from somewhere that Triple H has told guys or girls when they were leaving the company, you're welcome to come back, but don't do those shoot interviews. You know, so it could be,
you know, it's funny you say that, because this company has had a run-in with Triple H. And as far as, you know, I won't speak for the owner, and I just, as a caveat, I do not work for RF Video. I come in, I do these in an independent thing, so this does not reflect in RF Video. But we were told by WWE, when we were trying to work with some talent to bring them to a convention that I run, that they didn't want them to work with us because of these shoot interviews.
I can understand that, and I believe it's to be true, because why? If guys want to come out and talk and do an interview or go, if you're not with that company anymore, you should be free to do what you want to do and not hold something over you and say, well, if you go do one of these shoot interviews, you're never coming back. Well, they're probably not going to bring you back anyway.
Right.
Shoot or no shoot. If they wanted you there, you'd be there.
Right.
I mean, that's quite simple. That's the way I look at it. The thing is, when I started doing these, and I was way out in the forefront and the cutting edge of doing them, and I remember one of the first ones that I did with RF, I said, who did you have and who have you had? And it was like, well, we had Bill Watts and we had Dusty Rhodes and this. I said, well, how were they? Well, they really didn't answer the questions. I said, oh, okay. You don't mind answering the questions? I said, I don't give a shit. Ask me anything. So that's how it started. And when I set the bar pretty high, and I'm not blowing my own horn, but I set the bar pretty high, that a lot of the wrestlers said to me, man, you shouldn't have done those things. You shouldn't be doing that. You're getting a lot of heat with the wrestlers, man. But then every time each one of them got fired or they quit the company, as soon as RF called them, they jumped on the bandwagon and ran over here and did an interview and got paid.
Right.
But not one of those assholes would call me and say, thank you so much, because on that Friday night or that Saturday night, I had nothing to do and I got paid to go sit down and do an interview. None of them. And not one person offered to say anything that said, you know, you did this. Hey, I've heard interviews from other guys that's been on RF shows, and they have knocked WWE, knocked the company, knocked the people that's in charge there right now.
They've done it to me. I've heard it all.
And some of them are working there now.
They are.
In management positions.
I can name a couple, but, well.
Hall of Famers. So I take all that sometimes with a grain of salt, but I know that if as Vince says, and he loved that gimmick, every man has a price, and he proves that sometimes on a daily basis with how he does business. I know that if RF shakes enough of the $1 Million Man money falling out of the sky, everyone that leaves that company will sit right here in this chair where I am and talk.
I mean, all we do is provide a platform. I mean, any question I'm going to ask you is something I've researched and is based in fact. We're not.
I know, and that's the thing, and we don't make. I haven't sat on any of these interviews and ever just made up some concocted bullshit story out of my head, because I'm not very good at making up stuff.
Right.